Hi, Jennifer Nicely here with Pinnacle Real Estate Academy. I have had a ton of questions about due diligence since it came out in January. So I wanted to do a quick video and answer some of these questions that you've been asking. So the first question I want to discuss is, isn't it all in favor of the buyer and not so much in favor of the seller? I disagree with that. I think that it's in favor of both parties. Here's the reason why. If you're in a regular repair procedure, let's say you represent the seller, and you're in a repair procedure and the buyer decides they want to back out, let's say it's because of repairs, let's say it's not because of repairs. When that buyer backs out, the earnest money is possibly up for grabs or may not, right? Still takes two people to decide of who that earnest money gets released to. So my seller may or may not get something from that buyer backing out. But when it comes to due diligence, if that buyer decides to back out, now I'm not talking financing or pest or any of that those other items because they are their own paragraph. But if the buyer decides to back out per due diligence, my seller gets something. It's the due diligence fee. So in either situation, whether it be repair procedure or it be due diligence, the buyer can back out. The difference is the seller will get the due diligence fee. Earnest money is still up for grabs. Now, another concern that a lot of realtors have is, can't the buyer just ask for everything under the sun since they're not limited to those set categories? The answer is sure, buyer can ask for everything. But the other side of this is the seller doesn't have to repair anything. So if I have a ridiculous buyer who is asking for everything under the sun, but I'm representing the seller and I get that repair request, then I'm going to suggest that my seller go back and say, we're not repairing anything. We're going to sell the house as is. Now, if the buyer doesn't get serious and the buyer wants to back out, buyer loses their due diligence fee. And so this is kind of like a check and balance situation. So the buyer can ask for everything under the sun and be unrealistic, right? So why don't we counter that with a seller response that says, because you're asking for everything under the sun and you're being unrealistic, we're not going to do anything. And now what? The buyer backs out and loses their due diligence money? No, it helps them come together, have a meeting of the minds, and be more realistic. So I hope these two misconceptions have helped you. I hope I've explained it to you in a different perspective. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm always here to help.